In the summer of 1944, the Allies had a big problem in France. After the D-Day landings, they were stuck in Normandy, bogged down by fierce German resistance and the tricky hedgerow country. The German High Command felt confident. They believed the Allied advance had stalled, and they were right to a certain extent. The fighting was brutal, and every inch of ground was paid for in blood. The Allies needed something radical, something completely unexpected to break the stalemate. Entered General Omar Bradley, commander of the U.S. First Army. He proposed a plan so audacious, so seemingly reckless, that it was initially met with disbelief. The plan was codenamed Operation Cobra. Its core idea was simple but terrifyingly risky. Use thousands of heavy bombers. It's the kind typically used for strategic bombing deep inside Germany as a form of battlefield artillery. The target: a narrow 6,000-yard stretch of the German front line just west of St. Lay. The goal was to blast a hole in the German defenses so wide and so deep that armored divisions could pour through and encircle the entire German 7th Army. When German commanders got wind of this plan through intelligence, they laughed. It sounded absurd, using strategic bombers for close air support. It was unheard of. The risk of friendly fire was immense, and the precision required seemed impossible. They dismissed it as an act of desperation, a foolish gamble by an enemy running out of ideas. They felt their tough defensive line, anchored by elite panzer divisions, could withstand any conventional assault. They simply didn't believe the Allies would be crazy enough to try it. On July 25, 1944, the sky over Normandy darkened. Over 1,500 B-17s and B-24s, accompanied by hundreds of medium bombers and fighter bombers, unleashed a terrifying wave of destruction. For hours, they dropped thousands of tons of high explosives on the German positions. The ground shook for miles. It was a spectacle of air power unlike anything the world had ever seen on a battlefield. The bombardment was so intense it was later described as creating a lunar landscape. German soldiers who survived were left shell-shocked, their equipment destroyed, and their command structure completely shattered. Tragically, the Germans weren't the only ones who suffered. Due to navigation errors and smoke, some bombs fell short, hitting American troops and tragically killing over 100 soldiers, including Lieutenant General Leslie J. McNair, one of the highest-ranking American officers to be killed in action in the war. It was a devastating blow, but the operation had to continue. Immediately after the final bombs fell, the American ground forces attacked. What they found was chaos. The elite Panzer Lehr Division, which had been directly in the path of the bombing, was effectively wiped out as a fighting force. Its tanks were overturned and buried, its soldiers gone. The formidable German front line had simply ceased to exist. There was nothing left but craters and debris. Through this man-made gap, American armored columns, led by General George S. Patton's newly activated Third Army, roared into the clear. The stalemate was broken. This was the moment the war in Western Europe changed. Instead of a slow, grinding fight through hedgerows, it became a war of movement. American forces fanned out, racing across France, encircling and destroying huge German formations. The plan the German High Command had laughed at had worked beyond anyone's wildest dreams.